One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet who millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Donald Trump was casting a ballot in Palm Beach, Florida. There he is with the former First Lady, Melania Trump, and he's about to speak. Let's watch together.
How are you? Okay. Well, I hear, I don't know, the people you mean? Numbers of people? A lot of people. They'll be at the convention center at Mar-a-Lago. We have a lot of people. I've just been very honored to find out that the lines are long, and the conservative lines, the Republican lines, are very long. We got back pretty late last night, and it was an honor. It was a great honor. We had 4 incredible rallies and left Michigan late at night. Many of you were with us. And I hear we're doing very well. I hear we're doing very well.
Did you vote against the abortion measure in supporting Florida 6 weeks?
We did a great job in that. We brought it back to the states, as you know. I believe in exceptions, as Ronald Reagan did. And we did a great job. We did something that they've wanted to do for 52 years. Yes, please.
Mr. President, you talked a lot about...
Have a final number for a long time. If they would use paper ballots, conservatives are voting very powerfully. An honor. It was a great honor. We had 4 incredible rallies and left Michigan late at night. Many of you were with us. And I hear we're doing very well. I hear we're doing very well.
Did you vote against the abortion measure in supporting Florida 6 weeks?
We did a great job in that. We brought it back to the states, as you know. I believe in exceptions, as Ronald Reagan did. And we did a great job. We did something that they've wanted to do for 52 years. Yes, please.
Mr. President, you talked a lot about if you win, there are going to be tens of millions of Harris supporters who are going to be upset. What would your plan be to reach out to those people, bring them in? What would your message be?
Well, it'll be just that. We want to bring everybody in. We want to be very inclusive, and we will be very inclusive. We have a great country, but we have a country that's in trouble. It's in big trouble in many ways, and we have to straighten it out. We have crime is through the roof. We have people pouring through our borders that are not exactly perfect. They come out of prisons. 13,000 people convicted of murder. We don't need this in our country. We have enough difficulty. We don't need that. So I think people saw that. And it just seems that the conservatives are voting very powerfully.
Looking back,
just finish it up. Go ahead.
how are you feeling? Nervous, anxious?
No, I feel very confident. I have felt. We went in with a very big lead today. And it looks like Republicans have shown up in force. So we'll see how it turns out. But it seems that they have really shown up in force. I just got a call from Dan Patrick in Texas. He said they've never seen anything like it. It's been very good.
Looking back, is there anything you would do differently about your campaign? Is there anything you regret about running this campaign?
Look, regrets. You always have regrets. I can't think of any, to be honest, to use her expression. I can't think of any. Look, I ran a great campaign. I think it was maybe the best of the three. We did great in the first one. We did much better in the second one, but something happened. And this was the best. I would say this was the best campaign we ran.
President Trump, do you accept the possibility that you and Vice President Harris both might not get to 270 electoral votes by the end of tonight?
It should never happen. A thing like that should never happen. This election should be over. They spend all this money on machines. And frankly, if they'd use paper ballots, it would be over by 10 o'clock. And by the way, the paper ballots would cost 8%. It would be 8% of the cost. If they would use paper ballots, voter ID, proof of citizenship, and one-day voting, it would all be over by 10 o'clock in the evening. It's crazy. They use these very expensive computers, and I'm hearing in Pennsylvania they won't have an answer till 2 or 3 days from now. I think it's an absolute outrage if that's the case. Now, maybe it'll be later, but it's paper ballots in France. They went paper ballots because the mail-in was not working. It was corrupt. And in France, they went paper ballots. And at 10 o'clock in the evening, they had 37 million votes counted and done. They had a winner, they had a loser. And in this country, I'm just hearing that in certain states, it's going to be a long time, and it won't even be close. It won't even be that close. They say, I'm going to win the state, but it's going to take a long time to certify it.
Could you see a world where you don't declare victory tonight?
Yeah, I'm hearing the same things that you're hearing. I'm hearing states where I'm up by a lot, but they won't have a final number for a long time.
What are your plans for tonight in terms of watching the results and so forth?
So we're going to have a very special group of people, many of whom you know, and they'll be at Mar-a-Lago. In addition, we'll have 4,000 or 5,000 people at the convention center. On the assumption I win, I don't know if something else happens. I don't know what's going to happen in terms of declaring victory, but if in normal times I would go over to the convention center, let's say at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or something, but I just don't know. It looks like we have a very substantial lead. It looks like we have many more Republicans voting today than Democrats. So if you have a lead and we have a bigger vote, that means you're doing very well. But they have to call a winner. They should. And they should call a winner, yes. Just stop talking about that. Go ahead. Oh, I don't know. I was honored to get Joe Rogan last night. Joe Rogan's a big deal. He's a very respected person. And I must tell you, Megan was fantastic. She got up and said some things that were really pretty amazing. But before that, I just think we ran a good campaign. I had good policy. We want people to come into our country, but they have to come in legally. We want strong borders, and we want people to come in. We want to be totally inclusive, but they have to come in. I think that was a big issue. To me, that was the biggest issue. I may be wrong. A lot of people said inflation. Inflation's a disaster, but I think it's a second issue. I think the first is the border. We can't allow criminals to be put back into our country or to be put into our country. So you have 13,000 plus murderers allowed to roam in our country. Not going to be allowed. They have to go. You have drug dealers. You have terrorists. You have a tremendous amount of people that should not be in our country, and we need strong borders in this country. And I think people are voting. And I think it's the number one issue. We'll see how it pans out, but I think it's the number one issue.
All right, so I'm going to get back to that interview he did this morning. There's two parts to it. There's the first part is where he went to vote in Palm Beach. Then he went over to West Palm Beach, which is a different town altogether, where his campaign headquarters is. And I'll show you that as well, because there's two parts to this. The interview, and then he goes over to campaign headquarters and has like another small interview as well. But the reason for this show, and I was watching what was going on this morning, and I'm like, I need to jump on. Here's why. Woosah, woosah. You ever seen the movie Bad Boys? Woosah, woosah. Take it down. Take deep breaths. It's under control. First of all, we've got God. And second of all, there's a strong team out there that is doing everything they can. They're playing whack-a-mole. I know many of you, I can tell by the comments, I can tell by X, many of you have seen that right now they are trying everything to disrupt this election. I mean everything. But it seems as though the RNC, Laura Trump, Michael Whatley, the crew, anticipated much of it. I mean, I knew that they were going to try and roll out everything they possibly could. So I see people in the chat, and I've seen people on X, and I keep seeing that they say it's rigged. And I'm going to have to disagree with you. It's not rigged because they're not getting away with it. You see, if it was rigged, then there'd be nothing we could do about what's going on. We would just have to sit back and just deal with it. But I've never seen the Republican Party fight the way they're fighting right now. As soon as something comes up, the lawyers are right there with trying to get a court order to shut it down. I don't think the Democrats expected that. That's why they're caught flat-footed, and they're going to Plan C, Plan D, and Plan E. I don't even want to know what Plan F and Plan G are. I mean, but you can actually see it happening in real time. First of all, it started last week when they're like, oh, we're only going to put one staffer here. And the line was six hours long. And that didn't work. People stood in line. And then today you're seeing it unfold. We're going to turn off the power over here. What? Oh, yeah, something happened. We got no power. And, oh, the machines aren't working. Oh, we can't open up the machine. It's not turning on. They're trying everything. I've seen pretty much everything you guys have seen. The reason why I'm in a different headspace is I've also seen the other side of things. I've seen this man who flew all night long. Remember, we got off the air at 2:30. He then had to fly from Michigan back to West Palm Beach, go with the motorcade, everything else, get his house cleared, blah, 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 and then get home. And from what I understood, he got home at 6:45. And then had to get up this morning looking at the timestamp, at 11:30 and went to go vote. And he's 78 years old, so people are like, man, he looks tired. Oh, hell yeah, he looks tired. I'd be tired if I were him. Never mind him, I'm tired. I'm sure some of you watching this are tired. But the only thing I wanted to say, well, I have a lot to say, but the thing I wanted to impart on you this morning was chill. We got a long time. Right now it's only 2:15. We got a long time before we're gonna be burnt out. This is gonna be probably the longest day we've had, even after yesterday's 4 rallies. Nothing is going to happen immediately. You're going to watch it unfold. And I'm telling you right now, if you're not on X, you're not seeing it. You're hearing it secondhand. If you want to get in this fight, get over on X and help spread the word every time something comes up. No matter how minuscule. Hey, they ran out of paper here. Okay, boom. Post it. Hey, they got no paper in XYZ County. Something's wrong here. Watch the help come in. Watch the cavalry quickly show up. I've never seen anything like it. I literally have never seen anything like it, which also tells me the Democrats haven't seen anything like it. It's absolutely phenomenal. The SWAT team that she has put together, they must be sitting in a room the size of like Macy's, with just all kinds of monitors and communication with headsets, and something pops up. Hey, we got power down in Western Pennsylvania. Boom, bam, you take this one. Take the ticket, run with it. Because I'm seeing response times in minutes, not hours, not days like Ronna McDaniel. I'm seeing response times in minutes. So they have it all set up. So I just want to tell you, relax. We're in control. God's in control. They're taking care of business. And you can, as I've said all week long, you can tell who's winning and who's losing. You can sit back and go, winners don't do that. Oh, winners don't do that either. Who is looking desperate right now and who looks like they're in command? Who looks confident? That man looks confident. I don't see him freaking out. He knows he's assembled a really strong team. And this team of hundreds of thousands of people all over the country are now descending and have been deployed. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can jump on X and you can just see it all. As soon as somebody reports something, boom, they're right there. Let's continue with some more of this interview.
Sir, can you tell your supporters that there should be no violence and that they should accept?
I don't have to tell them that. I don't have to tell them that there'll be no violence. Of course there'll be no violence. My supporters are not violent people.
You hear that stupid question? You have a chance. You have an audience with the future president of the United States. And you waste your time by asking a stupid question. If you don't win, are you going to tell people not to get violent? They're stuck in a mindset. They've been completely brainwashed. They don't even know what they're saying at this point.
I don't have to tell them that. And I certainly don't want any violence, but I certainly don't have to tell. These are great people. These are people that believe in no violence. Unlike your question, you believe in violence. Go ahead.
Where will you be looking early to see if you're having a good night? What's your goal?
Well, I think I'll be at Mar-a-Lago for the most part. We have a lot of political professionals. I'm going over now with Melania, who I'm very proud of. She's got the #1 bestseller. Can you believe that? He can believe it. But so we're very proud of.
This guy is running for president of the United States and he's pitching his wife's book. All the story about him not loving her. I mean, you just saw the interchange, how she looked at him and smiled, and he didn't have to say that. I'm going to go back to Mar-a-Lago. We're going to sit there with all the strategists and consultants, and we're going to really. Hey, by the way, Drew, you know she's got the #1 book, right? I'm like, women must love that. I mean, women in the chat must go, he didn't have to mention her book there. He didn't have to mention her at all. She's just standing there. She's being supportive. And he, in mid-question, as he says he weaved, oh, by the way, she's got the #1 book in the country. Did you know about that? You know she got the #1 book in the country? And you could just see Melania light up. Like, wow, man, thank you. Thank you for saying that.
The job she's done with that. Her book is #1. But we're going to go over to the office in West Palm, and we're going to say hello to the workers. They've worked very hard.
Will Georgia kind of be your first indication of whether it's going to be a good
I think so. I mean, I hear we're doing very well there in Georgia. I hear we're doing very well. I hear we're doing very well everywhere. Now, I may regret that statement, but I'm hearing that we're doing very well everywhere. Would you go louder?
Have you and your campaign prepared speeches for tonight in case anything moves or if
No, I haven't prepared a speech. No, I did speeches last night, all day long, all night long.
Wait a second. Has that reporter never seen this man talk? Hey, have you prepared a speech tonight? Either way, wouldn't you? No. Probably can do it ad lib. I probably can walk out and say I'd like to thank Laura and the Academy and the voters of America and God for keeping me alive. And now we got to go to work. Oh, speaking about going to work and how the confidence of this man is right now, he's basically called what I would say a meeting of the 5 families. Reported on X is that RFK Jr. and Elon Musk and JD Vance have been summoned. Come on down. Get here. Elon Musk left 20 minutes ago from wherever he was, and he's headed to Mar-a-Lago. So I don't think he would basically waste these guys' time to say come down here. Now, I think there's something else going on too. By getting Elon Musk down to South Florida, whatever kind of command center they've got set up, I'm sure Elon's got all kinds of satellite fixations and pulling things out technology that these people on the left ain't even thought about yet. The one thing he hasn't reported, and nobody on X has said anything about it, is I haven't seen anyone mention a bevy of lawyers heading to Mar-a-Lago. You see, it's all transitional. There's no firemen heading there. These are the guys who are going to get stuff together when it's time to actually do something, and they're going to Mar-a-Lago. I keep saying whatever, Mar-a-Lago.
2:00 in the morning we left, and we did a lot of speeches. You can probably tell.
But have they prepared both cases or
No, I don't have to do that. I'm not a Democrat. I'm able to make a speech on pretty quick notice. If I win, I know what I'm going to say, and I don't even want to think about the losing part. I would like...
Journalism is dead. There is no such thing as journalism. You're journalism. Okay? I'm pretty sure if I said, hey, let's take a poll, the top 10 questions you would ask Donald Trump right now, that wouldn't be one of them. You watched hundreds of rallies probably. You know this man can just go on to the point where they want to put the gong thing and hook and get him off stage, and you're asking him, hey, do you think you need to go ahead and write a speech? No. You're an idiot. Obviously, you've never heard the man talk. He lives for this. He's lived for this moment. This is what he does. And I'm thinking, what kind of mental midgetry do we have in today's media? If he gets the word from people that, hey, man, you got it, and he walks out there at Mar-a-Lago or at the Palm Beach Convention Center and makes his speech, he already did it. Kamala hasn't done it. He already was president. I'm pretty sure he knows what to say when he wins. I'm not even going to say if. When he wins, he knows what he has to say. The only problem I think Trump is having right now, he's pissed off that he's going to have to wait. That's what I think his problem is right now. He's like, you know what? Can we just have this thing over at 10 o'clock? Why are you going to make me wait till next Wednesday or so because some city in Fulton County can't get their act together? But what I'm hearing is he may not need Georgia or Pennsylvania. Imagine that by 11 o'clock tonight, and Georgia's like, oh, well, we're going to need like 4 days and a week or so. And Pennsylvania says, oh, it might take us 9 days. And he goes, you know what? I don't need you. I don't think people are counting on that. That's why I think tonight's show, which you need to be there, is going to be very interesting. I'm hearing reports that New York could fall. New York. I'm hearing reports that New Jersey could fall. It could make the two states that the Democrats focused on completely moot. There may be a couple of blue states that end up toppling that nobody realized it was going to happen. And if that happens, they focused everything on just those single battleground states. They didn't focus neither one of them actually took any time to focus on states outside of Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. And now they're finding out New Jersey might be in play, New York might be in play. He wins New York, he doesn't need any of that stuff. I can't even imagine if Madison Square Garden converted into a win. Can you imagine that? Incredible.
I'd like to tell all of the people that are online to stay online. We have tremendous Republican lines, and I've been asked actually to say it. It takes a while. I'd like to just make the statement that I'd like the Republicans to stay online. Democrats, if they'd like, they can leave. But I'd like the Republicans to stay online.
this man don't need to write a speech. He's a walking comedian. And no one in that room knew what he just said. Hey, no, Republicans, go ahead and stay in line. Democrats, you get tired, go ahead and get the hell out. Gold.
So, additional pressure today, given criminal cases against you that would proceed if you lost or go away from one?
I have no pressure whatsoever. I'm winning big cases. Those cases are all being won. The biggest case was the Florida case, and it's been won. I appreciate your nice question.
Sir, you and Mrs. Trump have been doing
No
this
pressure whatsoever.
for 9 years. Regardless of what happens tonight, is this your last campaign? Or are you done after this?
Yeah, I would think so. I would think so.
How do you feel about it? I mean,
Sad, and very fulfilled. I think we're going to have a very big victory today.
Mrs. Trump, how are you feeling?
Very good, thank you. Thank you.
If you win, sir, if you win, do you have a plan in place to start naming staff and cabinet officers?
We're already a transition team, but I don't like talking about that until I find out how we do. I mean,
So, how does sort of event from Iran and sort of assassination attempts sort of shape your thinking on the subject, right?
well, it doesn't. Look, we're not looking to do damage to Iran, but they can't have a nuclear weapon. So, my terms are very easy. They can't have a nuclear weapon. I'd like them to be a very successful country, but they just can't have a nuclear weapon.
Does it change the way you live, all the threats?
Well, I think Secret Service has been a little bit tougher, to put it mildly. I see more machine guns than I've ever seen in my life. We're surrounded by, I feel very confident with Secret Service.
Notice he looked at Melania when he was answering that, and she kind of went like... So I understand. I don't know if you guys follow. There's this guy on YouTube. Awesome stuff. May bore the hell out of you, but it's awesome stuff. His name is Monkey Works. And Monkey Works is a former military guy, and his entire channel is just watching air patterns across the country, where planes are flying, where they're going, what they're doing. And it was very interesting last night. He was talking about Trump's plane, as we're talking about security. If you guys haven't watched this stuff, I don't really push many people's YouTube channels, but if you want to get in the nitty-gritty of stuff, go look up Monkey Works. Monkey, W-E-R-X. Monkey Works. And he was showing the flight pattern of Trump's plane last night. So he was up here in Michigan, and you would think you just come down. Here you go. Here's Florida. If you guys remember the movie Red October, when Alec Baldwin told the guy turn left, and he goes, why are you going to turn left? Because he's crazy Ivan, and he's just turn, just see what happens. Well, the flight pattern, instead of going like this, was like doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo, and went all over the place. You can actually see it on the guy's website. You can see the plane doing different things, like, where the hell is this plane going? Who's it avoiding? Who's it trying to trick? You would never know. You can't see it. It's 30,000 feet in the air. But it was amazing to see the track that plane took to get home, if he was even on that plane. I saw the motorcade this morning, and I saw some pictures with Danica Patrick on the plane, but we don't know which plane it was. We don't know. I tried to see the leather and luxuriousness of it. Was it the Big Bird, or was it another Learjet? I don't know. And then when I watched the motorcade, and you assume he's in this one, but he could be inside the back of that ambulance. Nobody knows. And it was just interesting when he turned and looked at her, and goes, yeah, I've never seen so many machine guns in all my life. They're still after him. Again, you don't do that when you're winning, right? You don't need to do that if you feel confident you're going to win. They're still trying to take Trump out.
I think they've stepped up. Look, for a long time, they didn't give us the help. They didn't give us the assets, as they say, the manpower, woman power. They didn't give it to us. And we'd have rallies. You saw the rallies, 50, 60,000 people. And I'd have less people than Joe Biden, who had 5 people show up. And I'd have 55,000 people show up, and I had fewer people than him. So they should have done a much better job. And frankly, the president should make a very strong statement to the outside world, because I think my team is incredible. Look, they say it's the best run campaign they've seen. Some people said it's the best run campaign they've ever seen, but in order to make that stick, you have to win.
How do you feel compared to your past campaigns? Are you more confident now than you were about your team than you were in the last two races?
My team, I'm very confident in. Many of them are the same players. As you know, Susie, a lot of the people are the same players. They've been very good.
Mr. President, Oprah said at Harris's rally last night, quote, if we don't show up tomorrow, it is entirely possible we won't be able to cast a ballot again.
Well, I think it's ridiculous. You know, Oprah, I was on her last show or one of her last shows, and they picked the biggest people and all of that and made a big deal. And I'm disappointed. I think Oprah's become a major divider in our country.
Taking a shot at Oprah here. And he's given people some background between Oprah and himself. Some stuff that was not talked about during the entirety of the campaign. He could have brought this stuff out weeks ago, months ago, but he stayed quiet. Why? Because he got some class. And now, the same thing like he talked about, I got some things to say about Big Mike. Now he's going to drop some science about Oprah. I didn't even know. You guys tell me if you knew this.
And I think, frankly, she should be ashamed of herself. And you know who else should be ashamed? Fox. Because I've seen Oprah on Fox about 50 times making the same statement, and I think it's a disgrace what Fox does, because everyone thinks Fox is so pro-Trump. They're not pro-Trump at all. They've put Oprah on all morning long. That's all I see is Oprah. And, you know, I knew Oprah very well. She's been at Mar-a-Lago many times. Roger King had his funeral. That's the head of King World, which was Oprah's mentor. And Oprah chose the location. She said, Mar-a-Lago is the most beautiful place. Would it be possible to have Roger's funeral at Mar-a-Lago?
Why would she have had her mentor's funeral at the home of a Nazi? You would think a black woman, a rich black woman who could basically have the funeral of a friend anywhere she wants. Why did Oprah pick to have her business partner's funeral at the home of a fascist? Stunning. Absolutely stunning. I hadn't heard that before, have you?
I go in the ballroom. We did it. The only time I've ever had a funeral there. And I think Oprah should be ashamed of herself to say that. She should be ashamed. She knows me. She wanted to run with me as the vice president. She was going to be the vice president. She wrote me a letter. It's in the book.
Now, I had heard some rumblings about that, but that's the first time I've heard him confirm it. That she wanted him to run for president and wanted her to be his vice president. He's letting all the... I don't know why he waited. Maybe that's just the kind of guy he is. I would have dropped that information months ago and shut her up before the Kamala interview. And then all the reporters would have to ask, is this true? Hey, Miss Winfrey, did you really hold your business partner's funeral at Mar-a-Lago? Why would you do that? Because he's a racist, fascist Nazi, right? Oh, you don't want to answer that now? Oh, okay. Did you want to run for president with this Nazi? Oh, yeah. You mean it's all BS? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, that's exactly what she did.
And now she goes and makes statements like that. She's a divider. And Barack Hussein Obama is a divider, too.
There are people who are concerned that you didn't concede the election in 2020 when you lost. They're concerned that if you lost this election, you wouldn't concede again. What do you say to those people?
I think they're crazy. If I lose an election, if it's a fair election, I'd be the first one to acknowledge it. And I think so far, I think it's been fair. I think there's been a lot of court cases. Both sides are lawyered up. Thousands of lawyers are involved, thousands. Can you imagine? And part of that is because we have too complicated a process. If we had a piece of paper, watermarked, you know that paper is more sophisticated now than computers. It's watermarked paper. It's unbelievable what happens with it. There's nothing you can do to cheat. And it costs you practically nothing to run. Think of it. We spend hundreds of millions and billions of dollars on these campaigns. You could do it for 8% of the cost.
I just want to interject something here. Remember, this man was on stage at 2:15 or so last night in Michigan. He flew basically all night, got home at 6:30, probably said hello to Barron, kissed the wife, got some sleep, went into this place here in Palm Beach to vote, and decides to hold an impromptu press conference. And you got the reporters asking him, when you win tonight, are you going to have to write a speech? And I'm like, you realize you've been talking to this guy for about 14, 15 minutes, and I'm pretty sure there's no teleprompter set up. I don't think they understand how stupid they look. You're peppering this man with questions. Kamala could never even do this type of interview. And yet they're asking him stupid questions like, hey, are you going to write up a speech?
And have accuracy, and we wouldn't have to be worried about when is Pennsylvania going to announce. It's really a shame.
Sir, last question. On your transition team, last week Kamala said that RFK would not be engaging with the secretary. Does he speak for you?
Well, he knows exactly what, but that's only based on what RFK told us. I don't think RFK wanted that. You're talking about Health and Human Services. Let me tell you, he's a great guy, RFK, and he's going to do pretty much what he wants as far as I'm concerned. He wants health for women, for men, for children. And I happen to agree with a lot of the things he says. The one thing...
So what he just said there is something, I don't know, I was going to do it tomorrow's video. RFK Jr. did an interview with Chris Cuomo on his new show. And on his new show, Chris Cuomo goes, so you want to take fluoride out of water. You want to do this. You want to do that. He goes, do you realize at this point you're putting a target on your back? Because you're basically taking on a new term that's coming up. We know about big tech and we knew about big pharma. Now the new term is big chem. They've been making tons and billions of dollars putting these chemicals together so people can put it in the food. Nobody has ever talked about big chem. Big pharma is stuff you stick in your arm. Big chem is the stuff that they use to mix up things that, you know, they want to put in your food. Which is probably even more profitable than the meds that they've been putting out there, because you have to keep consuming it. And they know you're not reading those ingredients. But somebody like RFK Jr., he is reading those ingredients. He's like, you can take out that benzophene 525. I don't even know what the hell that is. What does that do? He knows. He's researched it. I have no idea. I love that we go to Whole Foods for stuff. I mean, if we're going to get some meat, I mean, we eat, which is probably why I'm even still alive, because my father and my grandfather both died early. They ate like crap. Both of them smoked. I've never smoked a day in my life. And I'm thinking to myself, all this stuff that, you know, is in all these foods, I don't consume. In fact, Robin bought a hydroponic garden thing. Hydroponics. Anyway, a hydroponic garden thing, and she's been growing lettuce inside the house. And I'm like, this is friggin' phenomenal. She's growing her own fresh lettuce. The lettuce takes about a week to bloom. You chop it off, you pack that, and then just put it and let it keep growing. And she's got fresh lettuce that she's growing. There ain't any pesticides on it, nothing. And she'll get a tomato from Whole Foods, and you get your own salads and celery and blah, blah, blah. None of that benzo 59, 957. And so think about how much money they are going to lose with RFK Jr., as he just said, I'm going to let him do whatever he wants. Just stay away from the oil.
I told him, and I've told you in speeches for the last 2 weeks, we got to keep him away from the liquid gold, because the liquid gold, we have more than any of it. It's called oil and gas. That one I'm going to handle.
But in your cabinet,
well, I'd be honored to have him. Now, I haven't spoken to Howard about that, but look, if you think of it, he came in third, you know, in running for president, right? He ran a very good race. He had obstacles. The Democrats just really unfairly put obstacles up, and hence Kennedy left the Democrat Party for the Republicans. Now, he's a very smart guy. He's a very caring guy. He's very popular, too. We get up and introduce him. The place goes wild. No, we love having him. And you know who else we love having? Elon. He's been great. And everybody, look, everybody. Getting Joe Rogan last night and Megyn Kelly. We just have, this is very inclusive. This is a movement. This is the greatest political movement.
I found what he just said interesting. And I hope you guys are listening to this because I like to dig into interviews and pull things out. And when he says we, I don't think he's just talking about endorsements. Obviously, we know RFK Jr. is coming aboard to do something. I mean, whether it's, who knows? And we know Elon's going to be in the Department of Governmental Efficiency. I guess he might be creating a new cabinet position for him. But what was Megyn Kelly all about? Is Megyn Kelly going to be the new director of communications? He just said, we are putting together a good team. Well, no, that was just an endorsement. What do you mean team? When you listen to what people say and you dig into what they say, and especially this man, he doesn't mince words. He goes, we're putting together a good team.
In the history of our country. And even you people, and some of you are fair sometimes, but it's the greatest movement in the history of our country, and I've made that statement 1,000 times. It has never been challenged. It is the greatest movement, and we're going to make America great again. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you. Nice to see you.
We understand.
So from there, he left there. And then when he left there, he went over to his campaign office and he's talking to his campaign people. By the way, as this all is happening, as all of this is unfolding and he's owning the news, which I knew he would. I would have planned to go live, but I didn't know when he was going to do it. But I knew this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen from here on out until January once he wins. And so a lot of people, you guys have asked me, hey, Barry, what are you going to do when he wins? There's no more rallies. He's going to make his own news. Where this man goes, the cameras follow. And what he says, they put on the air. Or for the most part, they try to. And so you can bet tonight at some time he's going to do a press conference, which I don't care what time it is, I'm going to cover it. It may be 11:30. Boom, press conference. And then if they don't decide, then all hell is going to break loose tomorrow. Because if what I think is going to happen tonight, they are going to try and suppress it and not really announce it. It's going to be so overwhelming that they almost have to, but they won't. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, he's going to be all over the airwaves. He's going to be either way. If they announce it tonight, Wednesday he's going to be out there saying, okay, we're going to work. Here's what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, bada boom, bada bing, bada bing, bada bing, bada boom. He's not going to just go, oh, okay, I want it. Hey, Melania, let's head over to the Turks and Caicos and hang out for a couple weeks. That ain't happening. And I was surprised when people were asking me, what are you going to do? I think I've gotten to know this guy pretty well over the last couple years. And I can bet your butt, tomorrow he goes to work. If there's anyone in the chat right now who thinks anything otherwise, you've not been paying attention to this guy. He ain't taking no time off. Unless the security says it's crazy, let's go put you in a bunker someplace. But even then, he'll probably set up a studio in a bunker. But he's not just going to go, okay, we won. Yeah, okay, let's go get some rest. That ain't going to happen. He'll be making news every single day. He will make his podium. It will be the office of President-elect. And it'll be Doge-elect with Elon and this guy-elect with RFK Jr. And they're going to be telling the public everything. And so I wanted to make sure you guys knew that early today. That's why I wanted to do this show and let you know when he wins. And people were asking me all day yesterday, so what are you going to do when the rallies are over? I'm like, are you kidding me? Seriously, are you not understanding what this guy is going to do? He didn't put all these people, these big name people together just to go Wednesday morning and go, all right, guys, we'll see you in January. Not going to happen. It will be constant. It may be twice a day. He may be doing more stuff after he wins than he was doing with the rallies. You see, the rallies were the same speech, basically, every single day. We heard 4 of them yesterday. It's pretty much the same thing. Because you can't really go into what you're going to do that deeply. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, now he can. Okay, we're going to have a press conference on immigration. So here's what I've decided to do. I've hired this person who's going to be my blah, 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 and here's what we're going to do on day 1. And here's already the proclamation. We're drawing it up. That's going to happen. All right, next what are we talking about? Oh, we're going to talk about government efficiencies. Oh, so today I've assigned Elon to work to go ahead and start checking off who we're going to cut. Oh, and also next day, I just assigned RFK Jr. to go in and do this and do this. Prepare for it. Prepare for it. We're about to strap onto an Elon rocket ship, and it's not just got him. It's got all of us on it. We're going to be like, oh my God. It's going to be phenomenal. Don't worry about what comes next. There's a lot that comes next. You can take one of his speeches and just go, okay, immigration, economy, oil, military, Ukraine. Just think of all the items. He's going to address them all every single day. So you don't ever have to worry, is Barry going to have anything to cover? And I'm not being facetious, but I used to look over at the comments and going, ooh, y'all don't really know this man, do you? You thought you knew him, but understand, he's not waiting until January 25th. You watch what happens. The other thing that will happen, you ever see the end of The Godfather? Godfather 1, when Michael takes control, and they all come in. Godfather. You watch the world leaders flying into Mar-a-Lago. They're going to have to get a different runway down here in Palm Beach, because you're going to see these world leaders. It'll be Netanyahu. It may be Putin. It may be, they're all coming. And you're wondering where the news is coming from? Hey, oh, get ready. Strap it on. Get ready. It's going to be voluminous. So anyway, so that being said, and we'll talk about that as it happens, this is with him at the campaign center.
That the former president has stopped by his West Palm Beach, Florida headquarters now, his campaign headquarters in Florida. And let's watch and listen.
We have a big day. We'll be watching, and it'll be very interesting. I hope they come up with a result tonight. You know, they say areas that were winning big, they might not be able to come up with it for 2 days. It's just a crazy thing. And I'm really saying this more for the press than for you. They should do paper ballots, same-day voting, voter ID, and be done. 1 day, same day. And by 10 o'clock, everybody would be... And you know, you're talking about for 8% of the cost. It would cost 8%. Think of that. For 8%, you get a better product.
You hear what he's saying there? I really want you to listen to what this man has said. Reason why I wanted to play this press conference, he said that twice now. He said it in a couple of his rallies, that these paper ballots are so fantastic. They cost 8% of what it costs. They're watermarked, blah, blah, blah. What do you think is coming? Man's not wasting his time just saying this stuff. What do you think he's going to be doing? He is coming in with the full intention of destroying the Democrat Party. Not winning elections, destroying, annihilating, eviscerating the Democrat Party. If they go to paper ballots with watermarks, they are done as a party. Nobody wants them. Their entire existence is tied to cheating. You can see it. Everything you're seeing today is because they can't win. They have to have the elite newcomers, and I hope he fixed that. They have to have the machines messing up and being tinkered with. They can't win. Nobody wants their stuff. Nobody cares about having Transformers perform in front of kids. And so now he's letting people know. This is what I label a soft disclosure. It has now become his new catchphrase. He's begun to say it over and over. Watch as the days go forward how many times he begins mentioning paper ballots, paper ballots, paper ballots. There's a reason behind it. It's coming. They know it's coming, and it's freaking them the F out. And he's going to push that through.
But we'll have to look at it.
This is the heartbeat of your organization, sir.
This is a great, well, you're the heartbeat too, aren't you? What about Alex? How's Alex? Are you surprised?
You're doing great, sir. You built the greatest political movement in history, and everybody here has been working super hard for you. And you're our inspiration, and we're going to bring this up today.
Very nice. Thank you. It's very nice. And I hear the social media has been just unbelievable.
You make it easy for us. You give us a lot of
Joe
content.
Rogan has been just he's a great guy, and that was a big thing. And he did that. He just doesn't do that. And that he did that, I think it meant a lot. So all over the country, I hear it's all red.
Are you watching Melania? I don't know about you guys that are married or not married, but when she's happy, she lets me know she's happy. And what's the old saying? Happy wife, happy life. And she keeps looking at him and smiling. She doesn't look frantic. He obviously doesn't ever look frantic, but she keeps smiling at him. She knows. They both know. You got to look for those cues. Those of you women who are married, you know the look of admiration. She just looked at him.
And we don't need that. You know, we went in with a very big lead, so we just had to sort of keep it, but I hear it's beyond that. And it's a movement. There's never been a movement like this, and we're going to turn our country around. We're going to not let people that murder people come into our country. We're not going to let drug dealers come into our country and terrorists come into our country. Little things like that, people are not going to stand them, and that's why we're doing well. But you know what?
There's that look again.
We still have a time to go, so let's make sure that we have this under control. And some of you I'm going to see tonight, I would imagine. I hope all of you. So I'll be seeing you tonight, and it'll be great. The First Lady's coming with us, and she's really impressed by the job you've done. Would you like to say something?
A great job. Thank you so much for all your support. And it was hard work. I know it's hours to hours, and I know how hard my husband is working non-stop. So thank you for all your support. Great job.
Yesterday and the day before, you actually reminds the day before too, we did a lot of rallies, and they're big ones. We did full rallies as opposed to, so we got in about 5 o'clock in the morning. We left Michigan. I think Michigan's going to be great, especially since we killed the biggest factory that ever auto factory that I think anywhere at any time, which would have, destroyed them. And we did that without being president. So that was a big thing. But I think Michigan's going to be good. They're all looking really good. Susie, I can't think of anything. Hearing any weaknesses, right?
Not so
What do you think of Susie? Would you say good? Well, we just wanted to come over and pay our respects. This is really great. And we're going to see you tonight, and hopefully they'll be able to get these expensive computers going. The reason you use computers is to make time so that it's like fast. You don't use them so that you have to come up with an...
It's he knows. Absent them basically blowing up a precinct or something, he's going to win.
Answer 3 days later, and that's a little scary when they say, what are they doing? You use a computer because it calculates quickly, and you use paper because you save cost. But the paper turns out to be much quicker than the computer. There's something wrong with that, so we don't like that. But
talking about it again, hammering it home. When you repeat a message over and over, that's so people begin to hear it. It begins to sink in. And he keeps saying it. Just in the short time that I've been on air, you've heard him mention it 3 or 4 times. There's no way he would be mentioning paper ballots, 8%. I've learned it just from hearing it today. It's only 8% of the cost. It's so much better. It's got watermarks. You guys could probably start reciting it now too. He did that just in the last couple days. if I can recite it because it hit my memory, it's hitting your memory. All of a sudden, paper ballots, watermarks. Oh, it's only 8% of the cost. So you mean Elon has already come in with you and said we can chop this much? Think about what he said. In order to make the statement he just said, and I don't mean to drive you crazy with minutia, it means he has had to have someone look into the cost of all these damn voting machines. And then someone had to go in and look and say, okay, so if we replace all these voting machines with paper, how much does that cost? Oh, so it's only 8% of this cost to do the entire country? Yes, sir. So why aren't we doing this? And it's cheat proof? You can't cheat? No, sir, it's watermarked. Then why aren't we doing this? Because they won't let us. Okay, let's get that done. And he's repeating it over and over.
There are a lot of things that are happening in our country that have to be changed, and we'll do it, and we'll do what's right for the country. And I think that's why we're doing well. But let's see if we can close it out. But it would be, I just asked about it, wouldn't it be nice if after spending billions of dollars that they could have a computer give an answer by like 10 o'clock in the evening? Doesn't make sense, does it? Doesn't really make sense. It's crazy. Thank you very much. We'll see you later. Have a good day. And you're going to be watching, and they're going to be watching. Make sure there's no cheating, right? There's going to be no cheating. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I like that.
All right, so then I started noticing things happening on X. So I want you to remember back to yesterday when I showed you this data. And this data was quite important. This data here was the numbers that his team released. His team released this information showing how bad the Democrats were doing. And not a lot of people let this sink in. Steve Bannon said some things, and I told you guys again last night, that in Arizona, you can see the urban turnout, i.e. the hood, is down 385,000. Female turnout is down 170,000. Same thing in Georgia. I could go over all these numbers. Same thing in Michigan, down 321. Let's go to another page. Nevada down 191. Pennsylvania, that's big numbers, 351, 381, and 450. Negative. And as I told you last night, those numbers that are so negative, 500,000 deficit in females, that they needed to win Pennsylvania by just 100,000. They're down 7, 8, 900,000 votes. Why is that? Because they were never there to begin with. So when everyone's talking about this surge that needs to happen today, it's not going to happen because they know, Trump knows, those numbers weren't attached to actual people. So you couple that with how over and above the rural and the male vote is, it becomes almost mathematically impossible for someone to beat. This is what Donald Trump tweeted out before he went to that to vote. It's now officially Election Day. This will be the most important day in American history. Voter enthusiasm is through the roof because people want to make America great again. That means lines are going to be long. I need you to deliver your vote no matter how long it takes. Stay in line. The radical communist Democrats want you to pack up and go home. Together, we're going to have a tremendous victory and make America great again. And then he later did this one at 1 o'clock today. Republicans, we're doing great. Stay online. Do not let them move you. Stay online and vote. So he's getting real-time updates as to what exactly is happening. The problem that the Democrats are having, and that some people are beginning to notice, and as they notice this, let me see if I can go back in this video. I want you to see this piece. Where is it? Hold on. I gotta find this piece. I had a piece of a video here. I wanted you guys to, oh, here it is. Hold on. I gotta get there. I had a whole bunch ready to go, but at the same time, I don't want to keep you guys here for 3 hours because that wouldn't be cool. So I want you to listen to this right here.
The assassin was put down by the Biden administration. They stonewalled
100,000
investigators.
The math done.
All right, listen to this right here, and you put that together with what I just showed you in terms of the numbers, and then look at the Democrat panelists' faces here when they realize this man is completely correct. He basically comes out at this point and he tells them, you guys have got a serious problem.
The Democrats are down 1.7 million early votes in the battleground states. In urban areas,
they're down 1.7 million votes. Where are they going to get that? If the people aren't coming out, as I just showed you, where are they going to get it from?
Down 1.4 million votes in the battleground states among women voters, rural voters.
Look at his face. Look at the black dude's face. Like, I feel like I got diarrhea. His face just looks like he wants to throw up because there's nothing he can say what this man is putting out at him.
Have overperformed early by 300,000. Democrats have to win their races early. Republicans generally win them on election day, and the margins don't add up right now for the Democrats in any of these battleground states.
I got two messages. One,
math. It's simply math at this point. And so, as I told you, yeah, they are trying all kinds of stuff, and it's crazy what they're doing. Michael Watley put this out. Pennsylvania election integrity, which is what Elon had put together. Early this morning, we learned that Republican poll watchers in Philadelphia, York, Westmoreland, blah, 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 were being turned away. We deployed our roving attorneys, engaged with local officials, and can now report that all Republican poll watchers have been let into the building. We will keep fighting, keep winning, and want you to keep sharing updates. We deployed our roving attorneys. See, that Ronna McDaniel wasn't doing that. She was letting stuff happen, and then they would go talk to somebody, and then immediately or thereafter they would try and figure out what they were going to do. Laura Trump was this Cambria County. So Cambria County had the same problem. Cambria County shut down. Laura Trump. Good news on Cambria County. We successfully secured a court order extending voting hours until 10 p.m. tonight to make up for the long lines. So what happened in Cambria County was, hey, it's machines have gone down. We don't know what to do, and people are like, hey, but you're going to close. How are we going to get all these people in? The Democrats went to court to fight, keeping it open so that the people in line could actually vote. As I've said before, you don't do that when you're winning. You only do that when you're losing. Look at this. This is, I'm just going to show you this. I want you to see this. This is New York City. Elise Stefanik says President Trump is polling ahead in New York swing districts where Joe Biden won by 15 points in some cases. I urge all New Yorkers to get out and vote early in person to elect all of our incredible candidates. So now you have people talking about New York being in play. This then popped up and it says breaking. GOP poll watchers have been allowed into the buildings in various Pennsylvania counters after the legal victory. And RNC already winning lawsuits in Pennsylvania, and it's not even 8 a.m. I only show this to you so that when you're saying it's rigged and they're going to do this, not this time. At least we're fighting. At least, unlike Ronna McDaniel, you've got people out there swinging for the fences and saying, we're not going to take it. We're not going to go out this way. So let me go back to this video. I want you to hear this from Mark Halpern. Again, this is about the numbers. Where is Mark? Oh, Mark's here. Okay. I got to go to this. Okay. So this is Mark Halpern after he saw the same numbers that you're seeing. Listen to this.
Let's talk about Pennsylvania, okay? This is a state where the early vote matches, as I said, what we've seen other places. Disappointing turnout in Philadelphia. Go ahead and put up the Philadelphia, the Pennsylvania chart, please. Okay? Not enough vote coming from Philadelphia.
All right. So the numbers I showed you a little while ago were the early voters and how it was such a disparity. These are now even further digging into that tab so you can see where the numbers are. Listen to what he says. It's kind of complicated, but you have to pay attention. See, because they count on you not having to see this stuff. You know, everyone talked to me about polls. This is your polls. This is the data that you need to see to understand what's happening.
Yeah. Lots of votes coming from rural. So this chart looks at 2020, 2022, and 2024 in the early vote, the mail-in vote. And the most important thing I think to look at is where it says GOP returns and Dem returns. So you see in 2020, the GOP returns were 580,000, and the Democratic return ballots were 1.6 million.
All right, just want to stop. He's talking about the far right column in 2020. I don't even know why I put 2022 in there, but anyway, the far right column, I want you to go down to 4 rows down to GOP returns and Dem returns. In 2020, the gap was 1.1 million. And this is in a state that Biden supposedly won with 100,000 vote margin. And they had a 1.1 million discrepancy back in 2020.
Okay, almost over a million vote difference on the early vote. And then go to the first column, and you see the Republican returns are slightly higher, almost 600,000, but the Democratic returns are down 600,000.
All right, now he's back in 2024, now, today, real life, and somehow the Democrats have lost 600,000 votes. I did well in school in math, but you don't have to be astute in algebra to know if you won by 100 and this time you're losing 600, then you need to make up 500,000 votes to get even. And so Trump's seeing this, everybody else is seeing this and going, where are they coming from? Where are you going to get these votes? They're just not there.
From 2020. Okay? So again, in a world where vast majority of Republicans are going to vote Republican, vast majority of Democrats are going to vote Democrats. Democrats have a big lead. They have a 400,000 vote lead. But we know, just as we knew Democrats would have more votes early than Republicans, we know that Republicans will have more votes on Election Day than Democrats. So if this is the final lead, and I think we'll get another round here, but we will get another round, or maybe two. But this means that Democrats in 2020 went into Election Day with over a million vote lead, and they barely won the state. They won the.
That's the key. Whatever happened in 2020, we don't know. We still don't know. But whatever happened, there was 600,000 more Democrats than there are this time. Somewhere 600,000 people vaporized. So there's two things that are happening. Let him finish, and I'll come back to you. But remember that 600,000 votes have just vaporized into the ether.
By less than 100,000 votes, and this time they go into Election Day with about a 400,000 vote lead. Okay, that's a big difference, right? So, what explains the fall off? It's some combination of a lack of organic enthusiasm for Kamala Harris and the vaunted Harris turnout operation not being able to turn out as many early votes as they did 4 years ago.
BS. See, what Trump has done, which I think people will begin looking at, is how could you have be such a shitty candidate that 600,000 less people voted for Kamala Harris than Joe Biden? 600,000? What you're seeing in a low-key way that none of these people on television will ever admit to, and these people up here don't want you to talk about, is something is being exposed about 2020. And no one's going to say it. Trump may come out and say it, but you had a 600,000 advantage in 2020. I want you to look at something. I'm going to pause it here.
So,
what was the advantage in 2022? 600,000. So in 2020, you had 600,000 advantage. In 2022, you can see 249 and 812, you had a 600,000 person advantage. And now it's gone? Where'd they go? Was there a mass exodus? Did people move out of Philadelphia? Or were they never there to begin with? And as we see these returns coming in, and the numbers are so whopping, I'm like, well, where the hell are all these people? Do they hate Kamala that much? That big? Millions? You saw the guy in CNN. Yeah, you guys are down by about 1.7 million people. Where the hell are these people at? Did you not call them? You did not canvass them? Did you not? Where they at? They didn't exist. This election, at this point, and I'm having to couch my words here, but when you look at data and you see that kind of anomaly, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all, because it would make sense if when you looked at this number, okay, it would make sense when you look at this number if the Republicans had went to like 1.1 million. As you can see, 2020 was 580, 2024 is 590. So if the Republican number is basically about the same, where'd you lose 600,000 people? Somebody is going to ask this question real soon. Where'd they go? They didn't all of a sudden vote for Trump because the numbers aren't reflecting that. They're not reflecting that Trump all of a sudden surged 600,000. No, Trump's still where he was. Y'all dropped. You went backwards. How did you go backwards? Anyone going to ask these people that? Where they at? Did they die? Did they move? Where did those 600,000 people go? And my contention is they were never there to begin with, and they can't find any mechanism to inject them into the vote right now. That's what their problem is going to evolve the rest of the day. You're going to see that in state after state after state, that they're down all these numbers, as I showed you. Now, here, let me get back to that, because that's something you really have to grasp here. As you're seeing this in state after state, Arizona down 385,000. Where the hell did they go? Georgia down 153,000. Nobody's asking that question. People don't just disappear. Only if they weren't there to begin with. And so, unless somebody comes up with another explanation real quick, you can bet your butt when Trump wins and he puts in his attorney general, all this data is baked in. We all can see it now. Everybody's like, oh, man, where are these 600,000 people? How did we lose them? And okay, let's go back and look at 2020 and let's find out who were these people then and where are they now? Oh, yeah. Maybe that's why Jamie Raskin is, we can't ever let this man get back in office. Maybe that's why. Let's continue with what Mark has to say.
Are those two factors going to be different on Election Day? It's very hard for me to see how she's going to win Pennsylvania if you're just looking at this. It's very hard to see. And
she's not. That's the answer. She's not. They know it. Trump knows it. And now it's just a matter of what kind of shenanigans can they pull in the interim to make it look like she's doing something. And they're doing stuff like this. This is Mike Davis. The voting machines went down in Cambria County, Pennsylvania, and Kamala's Democrats are fighting in court against a mere 3-hour extension to ensure voters can vote. They know. It's been exposed. And they're not so much worried about this election. You see, that's where you have to begin looking past this. When you see such huge data discrepancy, where these numbers now, 2024, we're just seeing this stuff. And I know I'm not the only one going, that didn't make any sense. I know data. I've looked at formulas. I understand how to interpolate and extrapolate and do things else. And you just don't lose that much of a sample size. There's been nothing that has caused that. And so as they're trying to make this up, they're making mistakes. This came out earlier. ICE officials have been ordered not to wear your uniforms or badges when you vote today because the Biden-Harris regime doesn't want ICE intimidating newcomers who may be at the polls. Oh, so I'm an officer of the law, and you've ordered me, don't wear your uniform because, some people might see you and they might spook out and not vote. Here's my refrain. You guys already know it. Winners don't do that. Losers who need to cheat are doing that kind of stuff. More stuff here. Voting machines are down all throughout Apache County, Arizona. Voters are being turned away without being able to cast their ballot. The Navajo Nation president, Bu Nguyen, says that those who may be turned away should ask for a provisional ballot and to bring a photo ID to vote. This is a mess. Third world elections. It's not a mess. It's intentional. They're caught. You see, it's one thing to lose an election. Kamala's not, she's not that big of a deal. It's what's going to happen in this election. When you see numbers like this, things should go off in your head. And you should be thinking, how can that be? How can in Maricopa County, can the Republicans already have a 22% lead? You go into the election and hey, listen, we got this many Democrats, we got this many Republicans, and we should be okay with about this 22%? Where are the numbers coming from? I look at this stuff and it keeps coming up, and I'm like, this is really sinister. And I want you to be, as the rest of the day, as you just go through and you start seeing all this stuff happening, start thinking to yourself, how can this be? We're seeing numbers we've never seen before. 1.7 million people gone in Pennsylvania, 22% lead in Maricopa, one county in Arizona. Where'd the people go? They were never there. They were never there in 2020, and now they can't figure out what to do in 2024. It's really simple when you start looking at the numbers. These people just didn't evaporate. The rapture didn't happen and we didn't know about it. Where'd they go? And now people are starting to ask questions. Because the cheating is being contained, numbers that people haven't seen are just like, huh? This one. Trump reportedly won North Carolina early vote outright. If this is true, this is a bloodbath. How did Trump win the early vote outright? Weren't there this many Democrats that were going to vote? I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but you're beginning to see what's going on. Elon tweeted this before he headed down here to Mar-a-Lago. Hearing reports from all over the country that men are showing up in huge numbers. The line at my polling station here in Florida is almost all young men. And Elon put that out to 9.5 million people this morning. And here is the punctuation mark on what I've been telling you. Today may very well expose 2020. It is happening in so many areas. This is in Arizona, and people are like, how can that be? I mean, look at the number that was reported. Arizona early vote, 218,000 more. How? And as he said, I mean, it goes down even further. 200 and nearly 220,000. And that statement is what a lot of people are starting to see now. This wasn't seen unless Trump had seen it. Maybe he had, but this is what a lot of people are now seeing. These numbers don't make any sense. Where's the rest of your people? How did you lose 1.8 million people? I want you to start asking that question to people as you see results come in. Like, how can we be up 20 points? How can the demographics don't equal the math at this point? Unless somebody has a real reason, and if the only reason somebody can give you is that Kamala Harris is a shitty candidate, then that ain't gonna work. Because that means every single media network, means every single pollster was in on 2020. You see, every single television station, oh, it's neck and neck. Oh, they're right there. It's anybody's game. And now as people are actually voting, where are these people at, man? Because, it was supposed to be neck and neck. Who the hell were you polling? Everything is being exposed in real time. So as we leave here today, it's, 3:21, we'll take some comments. But as you start watching today, take it from a different mindset. Yes, they're going to try everything. They're going to flip the switch here, and they're going to make people stand in line. They're doing everything losers do. Losers act like that because they can't play on the field with you. This is Tanya Harding shit, going up and knocking her in the knees so Nancy can't skate against you because you know you can't win. And not only do you know you can't win, you also know why you can't win. You know you screwed up in 2020, and now this is happening because you didn't expect Joe to have dementia and then have to bring in this puppet. And Trump is kicking her butt. And he's kicking her butt, and it's gonna get even worse because you don't have the bench. There's no people. Think about it. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Polls are going to be closing relatively soon, 3-4 hours. Where do you make up this number? And then how do you explain the postmortem? The postmortem being when they start asking questions and start saying, hey, what happened? Where'd these people go? I don't think they're going to have answers. I don't think they're going to be able to tell people, hey, listen, they just didn't show up. Well, did you go knock on their doors? You should have the entire voter registration roll, right? Well, let's go check out. Does Fred live here? No, there's no Fred here? Does Fred ever live here? I've been living here for 10 years. I don't know who the hell Fred is. Oh. Yeah, big problem. Dems are... No, see, this is what people thought. You said, like, Dems are voting Republican. The data doesn't support that. That would be the easy explanation. But as I showed you here, let me show it to you again.
I told you before, I believe we're going to learn after the election that the Trump campaign had some tricks up their sleeve regarding get out the vote.
GOP returns.
Okay.
In 2024,
now they're both in Pennsylvania.
Only 590.
They've been in Pennsylvania today. She's spending her day there. She's got a big concert tonight. Maybe Democrats are going to flood to the polls on election day.
The Democrats evaporated. That's what they're going to try and tell you. Oh, we didn't have the turnout. Well, how did all these people not turn out? It's jail people voting. I don't know, but yes, they had to. That's another thing that came out. There was bomb threats and stuff today. And when I said they're doing everything, they are literally doing everything. Very vindication time for me. The hell of going through the 2022 and knowing. And now, judges didn't even bother to look at the evidence back then. Nope. And now they're what are they going to do? Democrats are in full cheat mode. Relax and vote. Yep. Report potential. Yep. This is Elon's integrity thing. Thank you, Barry, for keeping us calm. I saw the comments. And the comments I was seeing, I'm like, I got to get on here and just show it. This is just a little of it. I mean, we could be here for another 3 hours and I could show you, oh, look at this one. And I'm sure, you want to know what's funny? Here's what's funny. We've been talking now for those of you who have stayed here for 1 hour and 25 minutes. I am absolutely positive if I got on X right now and hit refresh, it's going to be a whole bunch more stuff. Guaranteed. I follow some people who are in the know, and these people, let me see, I'm just going to refresh and see what I can come up with here. Breaking, yeah, right off the bat. And I trust her because Shia has gone through hell and back. And the very first thing that I see is this. Breaking: widespread panic. Widespread reports of voting issues have been reported at multiple polling places in various Pennsylvania counties. This was the first thing that showed up on my feed when I hit refresh, just since we've been talking. If you live in Pennsylvania, stay in line. And look at all of them. Blair County, Cambria County, Huntington County, Somerset County. There are also widespread reports of issues in Bedford County and problems coming out of Clearfield County. They basically pulled the pin on a hand grenade and said, blow it up. We got to do something. We're getting killed. What's the refrain I keep saying? Winners don't do this. It's only losers. Here's another one. Like I said, this I could literally be here all day and show you this stuff because I know it's going to happen the rest of the day. Emerald Robinson: breaking, tabulators are jamming in the Michigan counties of Monroe, Wayne, and Oakland, according to Trump campaign legal source. All day long. They're desperate. Like somebody said, you vote and relax. You vote and let the professionals who have to go ahead and take care of this stuff. They're doing everything. And you can see it in real time if you just go ahead and if you're on X and you refresh your here's a woman talking about it, and it's just nonstop. This is called desperation, people. This is utter desperation. This is a woman who went to vote. Says breaking: votes cannot be counted in Cambria County due to a, quote, alleged ballot issues, with respects indicating that the ballots are being placed in a lockbox for transfer to a second location. The voter has raised concern about how and who will be transferring the votes. So this woman went to vote, and as she went to vote, let's just go ahead and let it happen. And what you're seeing, and those of you who may be familiar, I've said the term before. This is called agonal breathing. This is people who are completely desperate. They don't know what to do at this point. And when desperate people, like I said yesterday, start being extra desperate, needing to throw Hail Marys at the last second, they make mistakes. And right now they're making lots of mistakes and they're getting caught. I want to show you one more thing here. This is, where is she? Okay. This is Laura Trump talking about what she's been doing to combat all of this insanity.
And those are America First counties for the fence. And then and those are America First counties. Get out the vote, get your ranchers, get your friends, and get to the polls and get those ballots.
That's Kash Patel, but she's up next.
Submitted today.
And we saw the early vote totals all across really these battleground states were huge for Republicans, historic in so many places. And so that set us off on the right foot. And then I think you're seeing everywhere in the country right now, there are really long lines. Everyone I talk to in every one of the battleground states is telling me the lines are long. People are waiting in the lines. We have identified issues already, and we have dealt with the issues already. People may know there were 8 counties in Pennsylvania where they were trying to turn away our poll watchers early this morning when they showed up to these locations, and obviously the RNC intervened. We have attorneys on the ground at the ready to take anything that comes their way.
Woosah. We have attorneys on the ground at the ready. Remember, this woman was at the rally last night, so she didn't get in till like 6 o'clock this morning either. So she's back in Palm Beach, and she's like, "We're on it. Don't worry, we're gonna get it." We knew this was going to happen.
And this was one of the first issues we identified today. Our poll watchers are in all of these locations. I'm happy to report, and we also are aware of a lot of the voting machine issues. I know I've heard about several in Pennsylvania and one in Ohio, and we have in Cambria County so far, Pennsylvania, asked for an emergency petition to extend the voting hours to make sure that everybody gets their vote in. So I want to make sure everybody knows, do not get out of line, stay in line, cast your ballot. I heard Jack Posobiec just before I came on, use a paper ballot if that's what they're going to give you, but make sure you get your vote cast. Do not get out of line.
Let's talk about what are you hearing? We hear this long lines. I mean, obviously, we have the big grassroots over here. The feedback we're getting from the grassroots participants is pretty extraordinary. What are you hearing? Is any analytics that you're hearing right now? Anything of any targets that you guys were focused on that you think we're pushing through?
I do. I mean, look, the traditional way things go is that Republicans typically turn up on Election Day. We show up big on Election Day. And, you know, whenever you look at the early vote numbers, a lot of people were concerned, would we cannibalize our Election Day voters? And actually, I think what we did from the Trump campaign and the RNC in terms of identifying, targeting, and then reaching out to the low propensity voters, it really has turned up to be a huge success for us, at least so far, because around 18% of the people who came out and early voted in all of these battleground states were people who were the low propensity voters, meaning these are folks who hadn't voted in the last several presidential elections. And we know that they're Republicans. We know that when they come out, they're going to vote for Donald Trump and Republicans down ballot. That's going to be really, really powerful, I think, in this election. And that was always our intention, was to target these low propensity voters, get them out early. And that is indeed what we did.
But this group.
That's indeed what we did. So I would, if I were you at this point, rest easy. You've done your part. You've voted. And now you're letting your offensive linemen, your grunts, get out there in the field and do all the protection. You got to put your confidence in Trump, which I'm sure you have, that he has put the right people in place and that these right people are going to do what needs to get done. She didn't look frazzled. Trump didn't look frazzled. They know what these people are doing right now. You are seeing in location after location what specifically is going on is that these people are rats in a cage. They're trapped. They don't know what to do. They're flipping switches. They're jamming things. And everybody's looking at it. We knew you were going to do that. Oh, we knew you were going to do that. So what's next? What are you going to do? What are you going to do next? Your Hail Marys are not going to work. Why? You're down 1.7 million votes. You're just flailing right now. You're trying to stop the flood that's coming at you. And it's not working. So just continue to get your friends, your family, your coworkers, get them out there, stand in line, bring them a chair, do whatever you need to do. Get them some water, stand in line, get a blanket if they're cold. They can't stop what is coming. You're seeing it right now at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock afternoon. They're pulling a pin on hand grenades and throwing them all over the place. They're calling in bomb threats and saying, Russia called in a bomb threat. Yeah, they actually said that in Fulton County. They said that Russia called in a bomb threat. All the shit that's happening around the world, and you think someone in Russia called in a bomb threat. That's what you got? Are you seriously going there? They got nothing. And on the other side, you see calm, you see collected, and you see action. I haven't seen, maybe since we've been on here today, maybe Kamala has come out and done an interview or something, but prior to me flipping the switch, I didn't see her. I don't know where she at. Don't know. Don't care. Just take care of yourself. Keep your mood up. It's happening. It's really happening. And I just wanted to see if I could get on here and make you guys a little bit more comfortable that with all the crap that you're seeing, that you're also seeing the other side. And understanding, why are these people freaking out? Why are they pulling plugs and fire alarms and turning off the power and who knows what left they have to do? But at the end of the day, you're still short 1.7 million votes. Everything that you're doing is only at this point trying to stop us from running up the score. You see, that's their big problem. Their problem is we can see at this point you're not trying to play offense anymore. All you're doing is playing defense. You can't even get your quarterback on the field because you're worrying about turning off power and water and heat and whatever, no parking, all the different stuff that they're trying. But you're still not working on your offense. Where are these 1.7 million people going to come from? It's ticking. The clock's ticking. Tickety tick, 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 tickety tock, tock, tock. And if you're not seeing waves and waves of army of people coming from the hood, you're screwed, Kamala. You're screwed, media. You're screwed, pollsters. Oh, and by the way, you might want to check in on those blue states. Well, thank you, Barry. I can finally relax now. I still don't trust them. I know they have something in their bag of magic tricks yet to use. I believe that. I definitely believe that. They want the popular vote, which they think can sway the end game. Yeah. Harris got her head down working. That's too funny. Oh my goodness, this is too much. You guys are funny sometimes. Well, here's what's going to happen today. After I wanted to get on and show you this. The second thing I wanted to show you was understand when he wins, there's going to be plenty to talk about. There's going to be I got so much news. I only got like halfway through the video that I compiled. I could go for another 2 hours. I'm like, okay, I need to back down, so I don't want to just keep people here all day. So just know, there's plenty to talk about. There will be plenty to talk about afterwards. Elon Musk flying down to Mar-a-Lago right now. I'm thinking RFK Jr. will assemble there. And then, tonight we're doing two things, just so you know, two things. At 6:30, we're going to do a half-hour prayer vigil before the polls close, and I've got Pastor JJ coming on. Those of you who want to join for the prayer vigil, please do so. And then we're going to shut that down, and at 7 o'clock, we're going to do our results show. Now, I'm just going to talk to you. I know a lot of people want to bring in all these guests and everything, and these guests don't know anything more than you know. You can see, you can read. I just want to talk to you, and as the states come in, one by one, many of you know that Lear Capital is a sponsor of this program, which allows me to do the things I like to do to give back to my viewers. And when we got some stuff we're giving away tonight. So tonight, just so you know, I'm giving away, every time a state is called, we're giving away silver. And then at the end, when Trump is announced as the winner, we're going to give away gold. And in between, we're going to give away hoodies. And people have been sending us pictures, so I'm going to have pictures to be able to post tonight. So if you'd like to win any of that stuff tonight when we go live, what I need you to do is go here. Go to fanfareshop.org, and as soon as you go there, you're going to see Robin, and she's going to be on the front page, and there's going to be a little field box below that where you can enter to win not just a hoodie, no longer. Now you'll enter to win, for tonight anyways, you get to enter to win a hoodie, you get to enter to win silver, and you get to win gold. That's what we're doing to give back to you guys tonight. So just to let you know, each time that they call a state for Trump, we're giving away $100 worth of silver. So it's not just like this one piece of silver, I believe, is like a $30 piece of silver. So you're going to get $100 worth of this. And then you can do whatever you want with it. If you want to sell it at your pawn shop, go ahead and sell it. Doesn't matter to me. And then when he is named the winner, we're going to give away the gold. The gold, which I believe today is about $2,800 an ounce. So that's going to be fun. And then, of course, the hoodies, which you're going to see pictures of people wearing who've gotten their hoodies that Ashley has been mailing them out to. In addition, if you'd like to join our private membership, which is different than a membership on YouTube, I believe it's so much better than a YouTube membership because you can actually, besides making a comment, you can actually get on there and post content all over the place. There's people making videos. And I have to re-update that picture because I think SV just told me we just broke 8,000 people in that group. 8,000 fellow patriots. So get up in there. I'm going to go ahead and let's do this. Acknowledge the super chats. I found my new way to do it with my new software, which is the same software, but I can do it this way. Bomb threats, yeah, crazy. And this is from Jesus Montalvo. Barry, my sister, lives in Puerto Rico and just sent me a picture of a ballot for Trump. The problem is we don't vote for the president in PR. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. This one is from James Moody. Hopefully the RNC is on top of this. Otherwise, yep, they seem to be on top of it. I just showed you. I hope you can see that. Miss Fabulous. I love your handle. Hi, team. I tried to bring people to the vote, but none of them were interested in voting at all. Tried to change their minds, but didn't budge. Can't help these people. I'm telling you, there are going to be so many people who never make it back to normal. Yeah, but they still need us. Best we can do is pray for them. Andrew Knutson, yeah. The secret they were talking about is the discrepancy. Elon already ran those numbers. That's going to be interesting. JKC, well, thank you, JKC. You didn't put a comment, but your donation is definitely appreciated. Critical Conversations, thank you very much. I am Planet Hermit. Hermits for Trump. Is that like a squirrel or a raccoon? What the F? All polls show that Trump was winning. Yeah. These people, they sacrificed their livelihoods. They absolutely went all in and did some crazy stuff because they just felt, I don't know why. Maybe they had Diddy party invites or something. Common sense paper ballots would be a flat-out mendacity killer. Ooh, good word. Common sense going forward. Yeah, they don't want any part of that. See, nobody wants what the Democrats are offering, so they have to manufacture everything. Art Rich, machines used in my country, Venezuela. I do want to take this comment. Barry, I'm so glad that you're talking positives. I do have hope. I believe there's no way he can lose. But why are so many still underestimating the corruption of the establishment? Because I don't think at this point it's a matter of losing. I think people are concerned of what happens when he wins. They're not going to lay down. So you can expect, depending on what happens tonight, riots, all kinds of craziness. Who knows what Jamie Raskin and his boys have stewed up. Just be careful. Stay frosty, as they say. Cajun Scully, if Tucker Carlson is White House commentator, I don't think Tucker. Well, who knows? Tucker's making enough money. Maybe he'll take the hit because you're not going to make the kind of money he's making as a. It would almost be like a roll backwards for him. I don't think there's a role as a press secretary for a guy who's got that kind of stature. I don't even know if Megyn Kelly would take it because it's a step back. We'll see. But who knows? They may want to do it for the country. Hey, Barry, they're saying on X that Google is interfering with election again. People searching where to vote. Of course they are. You don't need to. If you watch my videos, you know how restrained I have to be with what I say. We're not even allowed to say things that are actually in the news. So of course they're restricting things. That's just what they do. Let me go back down here. I think I have everything at this point. Let me just keep. Oh, wait a minute. The chairman, thank you very, very much. Yeah, everybody has gone all in on all this stuff. They just don't want to see us prosper. Art says machines. Okay, I saw that one. Machines. Let me see here. Mickelrod. Doesn't Pelosi's husband run or own voting machines? No, I think she had been invested in it or something. I don't think she owns it. Denise Voorhees, thank you for keeping us level-headed. Even I started to lose my mind a bit this morning. We absolutely can't lose it. And they want that too. They want you freaked out. Thank you, Barry. Sure hope Trump wins and pulls Diddy into his office. Have a little talk about his friends. Maybe that's what Oprah's worried about. And Ron Warren's, I just voted. He and his wife Where'd that go? He and his wife is voting after work. Trump and Republicans down ballot. Very good. Okay, I said that one already. Let me just make sure I'm not repeating myself. This guy voted at 7 a.m. this morning. LFG, Trump 2024. Love it, love it. This guy, love the handle. Hockey Gramps, love your coverage and optimism. You know what? I'm looking through the comments here. Whoa. Gasworks. Wow. Amazing, brother. Amazing. Thank you very much. Wow. Thank you very, very much. Very much. Jeez, thank you. Grace Kid, might have shut up. Thank you, Barry. You're a true warrior. Trump in the Oval Office. Travel Buds, thank you, Barry, for the positivity in Cali. And what I wanted to say, and this one here is from Grace Kid McLeod. Thank you. And I got a couple more. And I'm going to tell you what I was going to say. Fight Vote. This is from AG. This is from Larry. Larry1754. Thank you. My name is Larry, and I'm an addict addicted to the red pill. Biscuit Boy, what's going on? Barry fixed it. I'm working again. Very good. And this one is from Sue P. Thank you for all that you do and the mods. Oh, and from New Zealand, thank you very much as well. All right, so I am a very pragmatic person. I like to look at things in very compartmentalized way. Why are people doing this, and what's the result of them doing that? What causes them to do this? And when I can look on my feed and I can scroll here and just see, I mean, literally, I showed you every single time I look, something else is up there. Just refresh my just to give you an idea. I just refreshed my feed again, and my feed, not my feet. As I refresh my feed, this just pops up, and it's just incessant. Okay, this one. Just in, the election judge for a polling location in Pittsburgh never showed up, causing votes to be delayed and forcing some restaurants to cast provisional ballots instead. Dude decided on election day he wasn't even going to show up for work. That actually gets me enthused. And in leaving you guys today, I want you to feel that same way. Because what that tells me, did I not put it? I'm sure. I thought, yeah, Justin, he didn't even show up for work. And why that enthuses me is, I know if I've got you on the run, I got you doing all this crazy stuff. That's what tells me I'm winning. Because losers do this stuff, not winners. Losers are the one who are like, oh man, we got a couple. But the thing is, you're not helping yourself. You're alienated Trump supporters. You're trying to suppress Trump supporters. But until I see something where there's a truck showing up and they're shaking in hundreds and thousands of ballots, they're not doing anything at this point to help where they are with things. Now, there's a few people I follow that really are really up on exactly what's going on, and I'm looking to see. So it's not just my feed. I'm just searching. I'm seeing all smiles. I'm just seeing all smiles from people like, stay in line, don't leave. It's all good. We got this. That's what I want to see. When I look at people and say, and they're posting things of that nature, even though we know all this stuff is going on, I'm like, yeah, we got this. We got it. Yeah, look at this one here. Hearing impaired voter called into Pima County, Arizona, using a caption phone to inquire about the status of her votes. And it's just a conversation. So people are reporting everything. Reports of widespread machine malfunctions. I don't see a single tweet, post, not one, on any of the people I follow. I don't see anything. And you guys, this is what you can look for. I don't see anything where they're saying that people at the polling precincts are stuffing ballots. Don't see it. So if there's nobody trying to basically add votes for the Democrats, and all they're doing is playing defense to try and suppress the Republicans, it's a losing cause. You're not playing any offense. It's like getting the ball in the 2-minute warning and just keep giving it back to the other team. We'll just keep playing defense. Well, what are you going to do? You mobilizing? You getting any people out there? No, they're just not there. Yeah, and, you know, this is literally every time I refresh, I can just keep showing it to you. Look at this one. Pacific Gas and Electric Company in California has shut off power in several predominantly Republican areas of the state, referring to it as a planned power outage. That was at 3:13. What does that tell you? That's 3:13, so we're talking just like half an hour ago, and they're shutting off power in Republican areas. That should tell you, oh yeah, we see what's happening. They're getting crushed. And they're not even worried at this point about getting their team to score. All they're worried about is, okay, we need to stop this. This we're under attack. The Republicans are pissed off. They ain't gonna take it anymore, and they're showing up. That's what you take from this show today. At this point, they've just decided they're not gonna play offense. They're just trying to play defense. So I haven't watched CNN or anybody like the last 2 hours. I'd love to know how they're explaining this. I'd love to know how they're going to explain what are you going to do? You're playing defense. What are you going to do to change things? Are you hoping at 5 o'clock a bunch of people are going to get off work and all of a sudden surge into the centers? That's what they're going to think. You watch for the next 2 hours on television. Well, we're hoping once people get off work, when the workday is over, we're going to see a huge surge in Philadelphia and Fulton County and every other hood in the country. That's what they're going to say now. Because I can write it on the wall. I can put it on a t-shirt. That's what they're going to say. Okay, we're just waiting for people to get off work, and then when they get off work, they're going to go to the polls. Okay. I hope you got like 2 million of them. Otherwise, Donald Trump will be the 47th president of, well, he may not be the 47th president. That might be their one more thing that they're going to try. And what I mean by that is, since they're so desperate, I wouldn't put it past them to tell Joe, take a hike, let's install Kamala as the new president. She's now 46. I mean, she's now 47. Trump would have to be 48. I don't know what the numbers are. But she would get to be the first woman president for a month. And God knows what kind of havoc would she do in that period of time between November 5th and 6th, rather, and January 20th. You see, they're desperate right now. That's all we need to look for and plan for is, okay, how do we counteract their insanity? Because this is really bad for them. All right, so 6:30, we do the prayer meeting. Wait a minute here. There was another super chat that came in. I hate missing them, so where was that one? Okay, yeah. Actually, there were two. Let me just go ahead and do that again. Actually, a couple more. Charito Rivera, thank you all you do for the group. Thank you, Charito. Kathleen Smith, Kamala's entire campaign was vote for me and how blank. Oh, Kathleen. Steve, 1977, Trump counties here in Pennsylvania having machine issues. You know what it almost is like? It's like coming home with an F on your report card, and you know you're walking down the street, and eventually you're going to get home, and mom's going to see this F on your report card if she hasn't been told already, and you know what's coming. You got to face the music. So you might take the long way home. You might go play with a couple friends. You might do some crazy. I just don't want to go home, because when I go home, she's going to whoop my ass. What did you do? How did you mess this up? And so right now I see a lot of Democrats are taking the long way home. It's inevitable. They can't stop what's coming. They can throw up all kinds of problems and flags and impediments and turn off the power and turn off the heat and do this and do that. But what are they going to do to actually fix it? Nope. It's too late. It's too late. You're done. Lynn, thank you very much. And I think I've got, there's a couple more down here. Cliff Leibowitz. My wife asked Alexa to play Playhouse at Trump's Trump song list and told her she will find something to keep that clown down. That's too funny. Alexa told her she will find something to keep those clowns down. And Justin Robinson. And thank you very much. He didn't put a comment in now. When Waltz loses, do we have to take him back? Whew. Watch out for Minnesota. Don't know what's going to happen there. I mean, who knows with the Muslim crowd over there. Carmen, let her bark. She's just rooting for Trump. She came back and laid down, so she's okay. Trend Suspension Service, thank you very much. And Vincent Auten, thank you. I can't read that. Thank you for all you've been doing. You created an incredible community here, and I'm proud to be a part of it. Thank you very much. Thank you very. Oh, and I've got Richard Draves, thank you, and the chairman. Thank you very much. Oh, wait a minute. One last one. Oh, no, I did that one. All right, so we'll see you. If you want to, please join us at 6:30 for the prayer meeting. We're going to pray over the last vestiges of this election to see if we can't help get Trump protected and put the armor of God on all Americans for what may follow. We'd love to have you. From 6:30 to 7, we'll be here with Pastor JJ. And then 7 o'clock, we'll do the wrap-up and results and everything else at that point. So if you guys are subject to seizures, don't watch this outro. But if you aren't, enjoy. We'll talk to you in about 2.5 hours.